G'day everyone, this is Jackson Milan, the Wealth Mentor, the co-founder and CEO of Aureus Financial.
Sam Panetta, the COO and the co-founder of Aureus Financial.
And welcome to the fourth episode of Ask Aureus Anything, the live Q&A where we answer your questions. I want to start a business and I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Any advice? This is a good one. Sam hit the nail on the head. When we're an employee, we may be the best at what we do. We believe that we're the number one in the country or in our industry or whatever it may be, even within the business that you're working in. And you obviously believe at that point that you can do it better. You've got an idea that you can basically put into effect and address a gap in the market. But what a lot of startups overlook is all of the other responsibilities and other areas that become their responsibilities when they start a business. Choosing the right structure to set up their business, their tax obligations. How do you choose an accountant? How do you do bookkeeping? How do you choose software? How do you set up your banking? What legal agreements do I need? Negotiating leases, DA applications, fit outs, all of these things. And we go from this point of being unconsciously incompetent, where we just never even thought about these things before, to very quickly becoming consciously incompetent, where we're like, shit, there's a whole lot of stuff that we have absolutely no idea. This happened to me in my first business. And I come to realize very, very quickly that I was out of my depth. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, this is the same. So all I can say to you is that you need to immerse yourself in education, and you need to go from unconsciously incompetent to consciously incompetent as quickly as possible. And then from consciously incompetent to consciously competent as quickly as you possibly can as well. And then only through time will you get to a point where you master all of those new skills, and then you become unconsciously competent, where you kind of do things without thinking. For example, use the analogy of when you started learning how to drive, particularly if you started learning to drive a manual. Think about when you first got into the car and you go, oh shit, what do I do? You're so out of your depth, and you're trying to think of, okay, keeping the car on the road, observing around you, pushing in the clutch, shifting the gears, listening to, in my case, my dad screaming at me for doing the wrong thing, nearly crashing the car. So you go from that unconsciously incompetent to consciously incompetent very quickly. But then once you start getting the hang of it, you've still got to actively think about keeping control of the car and doing everything, which is now consciously competent. But after a while, you can jump in your car, your mind starts wandering, and before you know it, you're already at your destination. You don't even know how you got there. Because you're that good at, hopefully, you're that good at mastering the skill of driving. Same thing in business. You need to immerse yourself in education, understand all of the pillars of your business that you're going into, that you need to learn and know before you outsource them. If you're going into business saying, oh, I don't need to know marketing, I'm just going to pay someone to do that, you will fail, 100%. You need to understand at least the basics of every single part of your business. So then when you do eventually outsource it, that you can hold those people that you've outsourced to accountable so they don't have a leg again.
Yeah, and you will. Like, if you're in a growth business, there's going to come a point where you're delegating as much as possible to everybody in the world. But you still need to understand what's going on in the business and all different factors of it as well.